All right, welcome back to LOP training. In today's session, we're going to go through the document center where we've created some custom templates for our loan officers and our staff to use based on communicating with customers. So if I'm in the Joe test file and going back to the pre-qualification we completed, one of the documents we created that I shared with you is the pre-qualification document for the items needed. And if you're in the PQ LOPQ screen or you're in the PQ4 screen, there's a drop down where you can select what sort of general documents you need for a client. And we have all the different field lookups for what kind of different documents you could need for somebody. Typically in today's market, we're doing a lot of W-2 deals where it doesn't matter whether they sell their house or they're renting. And so we set this up with this. And there's actually a custom tab that we call the Loan Docs tab. And it's up here. And so what happens is when I fill in this thing, like let's clear this out. I put blank in there. All right. It takes out all the dates except for a couple of them. If I go up here and I add W-2 rent, it now puts today's date in all the different fields for what standard or typical documents you would need for somebody that you're doing a pre-qualification for. Now, if you go up to the top, we've got a documents folder here, and it's a document management center. This is where you're going to find all your documents, all your spreadsheets, and all your email templates. In this scenario, we're just going to look at our documents, and I'm going to click on the PCM folder. And so you have all your different documents right here, from everything from inquiry letter down to a transfer letter. So as we go up here, I've got a thing here called the PCPQ Buyer Docs email. And then I have here the PCPQ Docs email. PC stands for Premier Capital, PQ, and then Docs Mail. And the difference between these two documents is the mail one has an envelope that you can print out if you're going to mail it out to the person, and this one does not. So as I double click on this, it's going to open up Microsoft Word for where this merge template is created. And what it's doing now, it's taking the information I have in our LOP system and it's merging it into Word. And it creates a nice clean document. Now, I think we reviewed this document too as we did the pre-qualification before, but I want to cover more of the document capabilities within the system. So don't be alarmed, but right now what it's doing is it's loading all the graphics into the document as it's updating each individual field you have in the system. And while this is updating, now when it stops doing that, you'll know it's done. And so, you know, just basically congratulations. It talks about our competitive guarantee. It now lists the specific documents for what they need for their pre-approval. It also tells them if they can't find some of the documents, where they can find it. And then it's got our pre-qualification letter, which we call our NOLA, Notice of Loan Action, where it's just a generic one, where it's got their names, their address, and the type of loan, and then whatever pre-qualification conditions we have. Now, typically what we're doing is I'm taking this document and I'm printing this to a PDF. And in your computer, you'll have what's called a PDF creator. And I'm just going to call this PQ Docs Needed Test. Now, what we've also done is everyone has a personal folder on the server. And for example, I have one called Attachments. This is where generally I put all my email attachments that I have from the system. And I know I'm always going to save them here, and it keeps me organized so that if I ever know where one of the attachments are, it's going to be in my attachments folder. So I've got one under the PCM shared under Faro Group and attachments. And I'm just going to save this folder. And we already did this one, but I'm going to replace it. And so now I've created this really nice, neat, clean document in a matter of minutes. That before, when I used to do these same documents, it used to take me about 15, 20 minutes in Word to do it. So now that I've got that document created, I'm going to come back up here into my contact record and say I'm going to communicate, and I'm going to send an email. I'm going to go down and I'm going to choose my pre-qualification email. Pre-qualification docs follow-up. And notice how I put the borrower's name in there and I put my name in there as a loan officer. And then I come up here and I'm going to now attach that email, attach the document, okay? And you want to read these things because sometimes some of these have, like this one has the Home Express mortgage guarantee. So one of the tricks for what I did is in my attachments folder, I also created a file folder called email attachments. And these are some generic ones that I send out sometimes where I've got my home buyer handbook, a credit card authorization. I've got my Home Express mortgage guarantee. So I'll go ahead and put this in here and just show you what this document looks like. It's already got my name and everything in there. And so basically I'd go ahead and send this email, and then it'd be in the history. So going back to the documents, I've just showed you how I'm using both the email templates and the document templates. As you look here, we really don't have a lot of different templates, but you've got some generic ones like a business cards thank you. This is somebody who you want to mail some business cards to. You've got one that's a new realtor you really haven't worked with yet, and you've got one that's an ongoing realtor you've already got a relationship with where you just need to mail them out some business cards. I'll open up this one and just show you what it looks like. And this is one where it creates an envelope as well, typically. So I don't really have a big long address in the contact record, but you can see where it's putting in the envelope up top, and then it's putting in all your information, and following up on the recent conversation. I want to express my gratitude in regarding us and referring us, blah blah blah. And so I just pop this in the mail and put some business cards in there, and I'm done. Okay, real nice, neat, and clean and simple. And I usually get this done while I'm on the phone with the referral partner. You've got the action list. This is really a great document that you should be giving your clients at application. What this document covers is home insurance, as well as how much money they need at closing. And the goal is when you meet with your customer up front, you want to be giving them this document and setting the right expectation up front, where many times loan officers aren't even telling them about the home insurance or giving them the mortgagee clause or going through some of that data. So in this one, this is their action list. We talk about the insurance. It gives them their basic information. We also talk about funds for closing, where in the system, if we were doing that, we'd put the amount in here. It would also pull over, and we didn't fill this out, but it would pull over the closing attorney information that we have in the contacts field. So if you look here, I don't have anything in here, okay? But if I had something in here, and there's a big drop-down list, if I had something in there, it would auto-populate, and it would have put it back in this document, okay? One of the next cool features is the insurance policy part of this, where we're giving to the customer up front the information for the mortgagee clause so they can go ahead and start shopping for insurance, okay? Again, just another simple document that we've created to help the loan officers at point of sale. We've got one built out for a condo where it explains to them that they may not need a regular policy for the coverage of the building, because that's typically covered in the HOA. how to correct a credit report if you want to mail out the credit report to the customer. It's that same email we had, but this is just the letter version. We've got documents for loan applications. Now, there's been some confusion in the past on documents in that we've got the pre-qualification documents here, and now we have the loan app documents. Well, if you're not changing any of the documents that are needed, it's going to print out the same list of documents. So let me give you a better example. Let's say that you mailed out or you emailed out the documents needed for the pre-qualification, and they gave you the pay stubs and W-2. So I'm going to go ahead and take these things out. Let's say they haven't given you their driver's license yet. I'll leave that in there. But let's say we got the 2 years of employment. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take out this information. Let's say they gave you the bank statements. You got the 2 years residence history. You got their bankruptcy papers. You got their divorce decree, okay? You don't have the contract. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back in here and I've got PC loan app for a condo. I've got one for no property address, and I've got one for the first mortgage only. So I'm going to open this up. And what you're typically using this document for is if you're emailing over to the client the loan disclosures and everything. So what I'm doing here is pulling up Word. It's merging in all the data. Now you can see here the shorter list of things for what I'm asking for because I deleted all those other ones. But as you notice here, the language in this document is a little bit different than the pre-qualification document. And this document's a little bit longer as well because it incorporates not only the items needed, but also instructions about the disclosures, and it also includes the client action list. So once this gets done, I'm going to go through the different components of this document with you. And again, where this came from is many times I found myself emailing out a list of loan disclosures to a client, and then I had to type up a long email with directions on what to do, what items were needed. And so I was doing that on a repetitive basis, and I kept on saying to myself, well, why don't I incorporate the pre-qual docs and make it specific to a loan app and also include the action list? So we don't want to save that. So as you look at this document, it talks about thanking them for their business. It talks about some frequently asked questions such as signing and returning the documents. And it talks about whether the rate is locked or not and what that means in here. It lists the documents that we still need. Okay, it says, please sign the highlighted areas and return all the enclosed documents. The next page kind of tells the customer why we ask for some of those things, okay, and what we look for in those documents. We have the same if they can't find the documents message. And then we also have the client action list where it goes over the insurance stuff. It talks about the closing attorney. It talks about how much money they need. And it also has the mortgagee clause. So typically what I would do is I would take this document, print it to the PDF, and I'm going to choose my PDF creator. So once I save this document, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And do you want to save changes? No, you do not save the changes on your documents. And so here's my template. And so, for example, if I was doing a loan for this guy, and let's say that I printed out my loan disclosures and I highlighted and dated them and I scanned them back into the system, so what I'd do is I'd go to communicate, send email. And we went over this earlier. I've got a document in here saying loan application is easy as 1, 2, 3. And so I've got my thing here, and I'm going to go up to my attachments folder again. And so I've got my loan docs needed. I'm going to scroll down into my history and show you like another setup that I've done in the past. Do it by name. So here's some of my loan docs ones from the past. So actually, no, let me just do it this way. And let me find another one. I'm going to show you an example of my loan disclosures. Okay, so here's an example of loan disclosures, and then sometimes I'll even put in a fax cover page again as another attachment. So again, this is just a really clean, easy format to send out to the customer, where I'm giving them instructions for what they need to do with their loan package as well as any items needed. And I'm also sending them out the loan disclosures in a nice, concise package. What I've found many times is with our competitors is they might get an email with an attachment of a bunch of disclosures, and the loan officer's done nothing more than just say, hey, sign these and get these back to me. And it kind of doesn't give them a comprehensive overview of what they're doing with you. So this is just a nicer, neater, cleaner version of what to send out to the customer. The other thing that I typically do, although it's not done on this one, this is just how we've done the disclosures here, where everything is highlighted and dated, and just real quick to go over. Any questions on this?
Is it automatically highlighted?
No, you have to manually go in there and highlight them. Rob's here in the meeting, and what he just asked is does it automatically highlight them? And right now in our loan system, it does not automatically highlight them. We're getting ready to move to a new platform on our loan system where it'll send out electronic disclosures that are a little bit easier. And I think what we'll be using is a combination of this email message plus, and in that message saying, hey, you're going to get another email with your email disclosures, where they'll be able to click on the button to sign them or acknowledge them, and it automatically gets put back in the system. So that's version 2.0. We're just still working on 1.0. You right now you're able to do that on conventional loans.
Yeah.
But you're not able to do that on FHA loans right now.
Right.
Okay. So again, looking back at our loan disclosures, there's a list of 15 or 20 different documents here that we use on a consistent basis. Any questions? Okay. That's about it. That's all that I got for the loan documents, and we'll pick this up on the next meeting with the auto processors.